In the heart of the Hindu Kush Mountains, nestled among the rugged terrain and biting winds, lived a miner, a fourth-generation miner, with a heart as resilient as the mountains themselves. For months on end, the miner had tirelessly chiseled away
Murtazar's
the
father,
unforgiving rock, seeking the elusive aquamarine that whispered promises of fortune and dreams fulfilled. The harsh climate is one of the greatest challenges faced by this miner. Bitterly cold winters bring heavy snowfall and bone-chilling winds, making every day a battle against the elements. The remote location of mining this site means that the miner often spends months at a time away from his family, cut off from the outside world. His living conditions is basic. The lure of finding that one stash of aquamarine and the promise of a better life drove the miner to brave the hardships of mountain living. On a bitterly cold morning, with his breath visible in the frosty air, the miner's pickaxe struck upon a vein that sent shivers of excitement down his spine. With the fervent determination of a man driven by destiny, he carefully followed the seam and saw it getting bigger and bigger. He chipped away, and with a determined strike, the point of his pickaxe disappeared into a cavity. He shined a small light into the cavity and could not believe his eyes when he saw the blue shimmer. As the feeble light of his lantern danced upon the glistening crystals, the miner's heart raced. With painstaking care, he spent the entire day deliberately excavating the precious gems, each one as magnificent as the next, some as large as his hand, and one as vast as a dinner plate. With his precious load of aquamarine specimens carefully packed, the miner set out on foot, his trusty donkeys trailing behind him, their sturdy backs burdened with the weight of his treasures. The path snaked its way down the steep slopes of the Hindu Kush Mountains, winding through rocky terrain. With each step, the miner watched as the landscape unfolded before him. A breathtaking tapestry of jagged peaks and deep valleys cloaked in mist. The donkeys, sure-footed and resilient, followed faithfully in the miner's footsteps, their hoofs echoing against the rocky ground as they picked their way down the mountain. As they descended further into the valley below, the air grew warmer, the biting cold of the mountain giving way to a gentler breeze that carried the scent of wildflowers. With each passing hour, his village drew nearer, its distant rooftops shimmering in the sunlight like a mirage on the horizon. Finally, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across the valley, the miner and his donkeys reached the outskirts of the village. He led the donkeys through the winding streets to his modest home, while people looked out of their windows and wondered, why was he back from the mine so soon? Word soon spread about his find, and the villagers gathered to look at the treasures he had brought from the mountain. And this was the start of the next leg of his adventure. The only mode of transport from this remote village was a rickety old bus that rattled and groaned as it navigated the treacherous mountain roads. The bus was packed to the brim with passengers and goods and lurched forward with a jolt. The journey was not for the faint of heart. The roads, little more than dusty tracks carved into the mountainside, clung precariously to the edge of sheer cliffs, offering breathtaking views of the valley below, but also posing a constant threat of danger. As the bus teetered on the edge of abyssal drops, the miner clung to the seat of white-knuckled determination, his heart pounding in his chest with each hairpin turn. The driver knew these roads. He skillfully maneuvered the bus through the narrow passages with a steady hand and nerves of steel. Finally, after hours of nerve-wracking travel, the bus rolled into the center of the bustling city of Peshawar, its streets alive with the hustle and bustle of daily life. the miner breathed a sigh of relief, his precious cargo safely, as he disembarked from the bus with him. He was scared but determined to find a buyer for his aquamarine. At first he sets off to the market, where he encountered several mineral sellers, but the potential buyers offered only a pittance for his amazing crystals. Someone approached him and told him about a dealer who will give him the right price for his fine stash. He managed to get hold of the dealer and arranged to meet him later in the day. As the miner sat across the esteemed dealer in a cozy tea shop in Peshawar, the aroma of freshly brewed chai mingled with the excitement hanging in the air. With a sense of pride and anticipation, he unpacked his aquamarine specimens. While the sunlight illuminated the aquamarine, and for a moment it looked like scattered fragments of the sky itself. The dealer, known far and wide for his discerning eye and impeccable taste in fine specimens, was amazed by what he was looking at. He scrutinized each aquamarine with a mix of admiration and calculation. With a flourish of his hand, the dealer laid out his offer, his words as smooth as silk and enticing as the promise of a new dawn. "Your specimens, my friend, are nothing short of extraordinary," he declared, his eyes alight with the fervor of a true connoisseur. "I can assure you they will fetch a handsome price in the markets of Europe." The miner's heart swelled with gratitude and hope as he listened to the dealer's offer. With a nod of agreement, they sealed their pact over steaming cups of chai. The dealer agreed to pay him a portion now, and the balance when he returns from his trip to the famous gem show in France. And it all depended on the price that he could get, and he wanted maximum for these specimens. With the promise of future riches dancing before his eyes, the miner watched as the dealer carefully wrapped up the collection. A month later, he sets off on his journey to France, the aquamarine specimens carefully packed. As the end of June approached, the quaint town of Sainte-Marie-aux-Mines buzzed with anticipation. Tents and marquees sprung up like mushrooms after rain, lining the streets surrounding the theatre, their colourful banners fluttering in the breeze. Amidst the bustling chaos of setup, one figure stood out amongst the throngs of exhibitors. The renowned dealer of fine specimens from Pakistan. His presence immediately commanded attention as he meticulously arranged the stash of aquamarine on his stand. With a keen eye for detail and impeccable sense of presentation, the dealer transformed his booth in the theatre into a veritable treasure trove. As the doors opened, collectors strolled from stand to stand. The dealer would twinkle in his eyes, because he knew he had the best minerals. With tales of distant lands and exotic finds, he captivated the imagination of mineral enthusiasts and collectors alike, drawing them into a realm where dreams took shape in the form of amazing stories from the mountains. As whispers of admiration of his fine aquamarine rippled through the crowd, collectors and enthusiasts alike marveled at the sheer beauty of these specimens, their brilliance rivaling the azure skies above. The best specimens was labeled price on request. And it wasn't long before whispers of the magnificent crystals reached the ears of a renowned collector known simply as Monsieur Francois, whose vast wealth and insatiable passion for rare minerals were legendary. The air was alive with excitement and anticipation as the dealers watched him with eager eyes. But he went straight to the dealer from Pakistan, where the aquamarine specimens took center stage. With keen eyes and a discerning gaze, Monsieur Francois singled out the finest specimen from the dealer's collection, a flawless giant plate of many crystals. With a gesture of reverence, he offered a sum that would secure its place in his esteemed collection, which the dealer accepted. And as the dealer watched these finest specimens disappear into the hands of its new owner, he couldn't help but feel a loss. And so, amidst the backdrop of centuries-old mines and the whispers of history, the miners' Aquamarine took a journey from the heights of the Hindu Kush Mountains to the collection of Monsieur Francois. This is the story of how it is when the appreciation of the earth's mineral flowers are saved and lands up in the best collections to be appreciated by generations to come. Imagine if this beautiful specimen was ground up for the few grams of beryllium that can be found inside the Aquamarine. Ridiculous. We invite you to become part of our journey by subscribing to our channel. We love to share the appreciation for the collecting of minerals with everyone. Thank you so much.